question here. When you do play with Kenny Omega, who's wearing the backpack? And I don't mean the golden one. I mean, who's wearing the metaphorical backpack?
Oh, you know, honestly, well, we play with my buddy Fizzer, who is actually really, really disgusting.
Okay.
So I would say that Fizzer is definitely that guy that's carrying to both of us. But, you know, we provide our own support there. Now it's time just to jump in to our final match of the day here at the EXP Apex Legends Pro-Am. And we're starting first with Choco Bars, who has been very quiet in this competition thus far, but it's going to be a quick drop above here, right in this watchtower. Let's see what happens.
And again, I think it's important to remind everybody that $20,000 will be donated to the V Foundation in the name of whoever wins this game right here at hand. An extra $1,000 there for the MVP itself, but we all know that this is the match that everybody's been waiting for. You heard it from DrDisrespect. I got my one victory. I'm here for game number 3. Let's see a layout.
He's got if he could be the two-time back-to-back Apex Legends Pro-Am champion here at EXP.
How do you build better accolades?
I know. He'll never let anyone live it down either. Like every stream he starts up, it's going to be that, and it will be hilarious and absolutely glorious. But for now, though, Quentin Richardson is going to dive down low. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, wow, that's nice. You know, so
Phoenix
is he
kid
going to be
here.
is he going to be a good teammate to tag it?
Body shield
He
here.
tags it, doesn't go for it. What a guy.
Yeah, and for anybody wondering what we're trying to highlight here is he could double down on his armor by picking up that armor. But understanding he's the only guy in his team with any armor and is willing to ping it for everybody else to come and pick it up. Those are some of the best healing and defensive capabilities.
He went for it because no one else went for it.
Yeah, it's like,
the
you
very
guys
least,
want it.
He was a teammate who said, hey, does anyone want this? Nope.
Let's just say this.
He went back again. He said, does anyone want this? No. And then he took it.
0% chance I ever ping that. I'm picking it up and going. Like he's a better player than me.
I agree with you, my friend. I never care. But we have been on board with Choco Bars for a little while now, and I think it's worth noting no activity in this area at all. This is the big game. $20,000 will be donated in the name of the winner here to the V Foundation. And everyone is feeling that pressure. But Giggs now, who we haven't talked about at all so far, and I'm glad we're looking at his perspective here. Giggs, he is such a great player and should be leading this team.
Super aggressive, too. Look at this zip line.
He's diving right on top of this building.
He knows they're in there.
Yeah,
he's just going to look to push.
He's hearing him scurry about. He's looking for it.
You actually can shoot through these little doors, too. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and peek.
I think you can also chuck ordnance in there, too.
You can.
Yeah. Oh, no, and his teammate's going to go down. Eli Apple, he's got to get through that door. They're going to be right inside, but they don't know that he's going to be on top of the roof here. So that Gibraltar's going to have to disengage.
They make their way indoors as well. You see the arc star there, not going to hit his ally, not going to be a problem as well, considering their knock does get the hit marker, knows that he made contact. His teammate goes up, gets knocked. It's all up to him here. He has to connect with those shots. Misses on the alternator. No. Wingman comes out, but it's going to miss too. Grenade is a little bit too slow. He will be able to retreat.
Well, he has to just get out of there, reposition, and that's going to be Kenny Omega alongside with Team Nick 830, who pushed that fight.
Good start here for game number 3 for them.
I think they should just thirst that player and get the loot.
Pathfinder makes his way up. Kenny Omega, one shot.
I'm shocked that Kenny did not go in for the scope there. He's going to send the nade down, so he didn't go for the aim down sights. Instead, was trying to shoot from the hip.
It's a bold move with the 301.
Yeah, exactly. But even with the kit, though, you could probably go with that hemlock off the hip as well. I mean, with the burst, it's surprisingly effective.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, the hemlock, it's very interesting that, you know, sometimes depending on what attachments you have and how far away they are, you want to be in the single versus the burst. But from the hip, it can be threatening. Talking about some threaten, though, Marcus Spears actually getting knocked while everybody's leaving him.
That's Giggs. That's Giggs. He managed to pick off Marcus Spears, and Kenny now, he's committing to the bubble, because if you drop down, you're going to be a sitting duck. So I at least appreciate the fact that he gets on top of that building again, and Nick 830 now is going to be looking around for Giggs, who just knocked their teammate.
Yeah, and you can see Giggs is near impossible to find, but there he is trying to heal.
That was Zach Morris.
That was just his teammate. It's not over yet.
No, it's not, but he does shut him out of the game here.
Enemy taken.
He thirsted and took it, but Kenny's going to be out as well.
But the backside here, the shot's coming out. Spitfire's going to be the choice. Only 17 bullets on that. Now shots as well from the main door. Everybody can't open the door. He's stuck.
Oh, he's got to get through the door and does manage to do just that. Now we'll have a flatline and a Spitfire, and the Spitfire might be your friend in this situation. I've hit fired with a flatline before. You do not want to hit Spitfire with the flatline. I'm telling you this right now. It's just not been nice to me in the past.
But he's only got 26 bullets in the Spitfire, and that is a problem that is not going to change.
I would take the Spitfire with 26 bullets over the flatline.
It's just
any day of the week.
Important. He absolutely needs to clutch out those shots, or it's going to be very problematic for him here. As we take now once more a glance at Nikki 30.
Just looking around. Marcus is out of the fight, and this has been an intense battle. Bear in mind, folks, no squads have been wiped yet at all. We're still sitting at 20 squads, and the zone is starting to push in. They have to move, and Nicky 30, he has to pick up the banner for Kenny, and he also has to pick up Marcus. And here's a replay of that moment there. Kenny Omega did manage to get the connection there onto McKinney, but then it was this fight where I thought that Kenny was going to be able to clean it up, and this has just been dreadful for them thus far.
Yeah, it has been a difficult opener
but
here.
Nicky 30 just took out Jey Uso. He's got to get those banners.
Yeah, he's got to be able to pick both of them up, and he will be able to do so. Like, some silver linings out of the situation is that whenever you're in the first round, which is not that problematic as long as you can find healing, the first thing he looks at, a couple of med kits. So you've got time, especially when you're on the Wraith. I talked about it earlier. That dimensional rift will help you get back to the zone. So things are going to be okay for this team, but once that res comes in, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, that's going to be tough there. But now back over to King Richard. In the last game, had some shenanigans alongside with Dizzy and Mendo. But this time around, it is all business with that longbow alternator combination. If you have the hop up on the alternator, you're demolishing the shields of your opponent. And then that longbow with the fast rate of fire for that sniper, it is deadly.
Yeah, it's a very lethal one, but not having the sniper stock is going to be able to hurt him a little bit. Only has the 6-time optics too, so no variance whenever looking down the site itself. Shots coming out from his team. Nice cleanup there. Onto Tatiana Suarez.
He's looking around. He was a little concerned that there could have been a player behind him, but you always want to check around there. And there's Watson, by the way. You see that interception pylon. So any ordnance that gets sent up to the top, it's going to get zipped away right away unless you destroy the pylon. Shots now flying through, and that is going to be King Richard who gets the connection.
Very clean shots coming up from him, but then cleaning up the rest of the team. That is going to be an easy Mirage cleanup, and a Mastiff sitting as the loot, the reward, if you will, here for that last skirmish. A big victory here. The Mastiff being the legendary shotgun and one of the highest damage per shot weapons in the entirety of Apex.
And I am absolutely butt cheeks with that weapon. I just keeping it 100% with you all. But we have Victoria, who's actually going to be standing by with one of our players who have been eliminated.
All right, Jay.
Oh, man.
This is your Beat the Traffic Award. Because, you know, we're in LA, and we respect if you want to go and beat the traffic. But before you do that, I mean, we'd love you to stay. What went wrong out there?
It wasn't so much as me or my partner here. It was the third guy over there, the guy that did a bunch of name calling. Him.
Got the wrong team.
Oh, name calling. Okay, well, so what do you think your brother's chances are winning this match?
I think my brother has a good chance of winning. First round was on him. Second round, not too good. We still got another third round left. So we obviously was a first team out. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Do you think he'll ever let you live this down, getting knocked out before him?
If you keep reminding him, he probably won't. But I hope. He has those great Turtle Beaches on right now, so he probably can't hear anything, so it's good. This is good. This is good.
Good. Any motivating words for everyone else here still competing?
Play hard, guys. Play hard.
All right, play hard. You heard it, guys.
That's what I like to hear. And Jey Uso, always a consummate professional. And hey, if his brother wins, he could just win by association.
Yeah, you know, there's an element of, like, I'm related to that guy that I think you can brag about. It's not like they have enough accolades within their, you know, careers itself to be able to brag it out. Yeah, but yeah, they'll be worried about winning the Pro-Am itself, and understandably so. And, you know, talking about winning the Pro-Am, you had asked me before this game who I thought might have a chance, and I highlighted this, but looking at his team, none are alive. He does have both the banners, can bring them to life, but it's never easy getting a resurrection off.
Yeah, and when you get that res, that drop ship comes in, everyone hears it, and then you just become a massive target because those players are landing with no weaponry. And if the bins were looted by the drop spot, and on top of that, if you open the bin, more than likely there's nothing going to be there. It's not pretty. See right here, look, the bins have been looted, so you're going to have weapons with barely any ammunition.
Yeah, you're going to be just looking at chucking rocks at them if you can, something, because you're not going to be too effective. Shots coming in from the high ground even. Portal going to be taken here by Stone Mountain. Team's able to get an easy retreat, it seems, but you can't help but feel like they had to know where those bad guys were. Interesting use of the iframe. We'll see if it comes to haunt them here. Normally want to prioritize utilizing that on any time that you need to be able to gain speed or really nope out of a situation.
Stumbles upon a death box as well. So there's going to be something that they can at least scavenge on out of there. Some syringes as well. Fight's going to be happening outside of the circle. It's going to be Team Nick 830, and it's just Nick 830 who's been in the danger zone for such a long time. But it's going to be Elamite Warrior who manages to eliminate Team Nick 830 and thus ending their final game.
Wow, and look at this. Vis actually got the res up, but he's trying to defend his team, where the other team is aggressing in, knowing they see that the targets are going to be res. They're looking to eliminate them and get those easy kills. Great job, though, from Vis, not only finding that res, but again, willing to defend his team, who is essentially defenseless.
Oh, no, this is not good, though. He's going to take some shots from behind, and then Marcus Scribner, he's going to go down, and that's going to be Huskers. DrDisrespect's going to be down as well, courtesy of Mendo. Vis is going to try and zip around here with that grappling hook. There's going to be a player right behind this box. I don't know if you saw it over in the distance, and Vis is like, nope, I'm just going to get out of here because I don't want to have to deal with this fight.
Yeah, he's trying to look and reset and reposition. This is one of the bigger advantages of Pathfinder, the character that he is playing. You can disengage and then come back and look for those banners and be far more cheeky than almost any other character can be. He's got 30 seconds for the res, another about 2 minutes if he's worried about the actual resurrect or banner pickup itself. He ends up throwing some of these shots at the third party, sitting between Relay and where he is right now.
And to emphasize what that term means, third party, it's exactly as it sounds. When you have two teams that are fighting one another and you're not engaged in that fight, you can actually come in as a third party in that engagement, then try and catch those players off guard. A lot of players take advantage of that in a game as fast-paced and as intense as Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And then another thing of note here is that now Vis lost both of his teammates, has to go and recover the banner, but also make a choice. Is it worth it? Is it worth to go in there to that danger zone? And when I mean danger zone, I don't mean what's outside of the circle. I mean the fact that there are a lot of great players circling around those death boxes. Does he make the ambitious play? Thinking about it. He's clearly thinking about it.
Yeah, man, he's got 60 seconds roughly, 45 if you will, there on the Wraith before he can fully determine. Looks like he's going to move up and get banner number 1. So the call is going to go for the res player, or at least keep that as an option as he moves out through our final game.
And you heard it as well, the drop ship in the distance. I don't know who was just picked up, but everyone is paying attention to this. And there go the shots. So this is actually going to be that pickup there. 55 blue. So you just hurt that player for a decent amount of damage. And they have this high ground with Max. So if anyone tries to challenge Team Jericho, they have that Mastiff for close range engagements, and they're also going to be gatekeeping. So they're going to prevent any players from trying to push in with that sniper. And if they get too close, the Mastiff comes out. That shotgun is deadly.
Yeah, this is a great position that you've already highlighted, because not only do they have the circle advantage, but they've got high ground advantage. Everybody who has to move into them is moving through such a low point on that canal that you see highlighted right here that they have to traverse over. That is essentially a lose-lose scenario if you're on the other side of Jericho's gun. That being said, it seems like the teams have been able to skirt by or at least deal with one another for now enough. Jericho is yet to find himself a complete knock here with his longbow.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the connections necessary to get some more kills on the board, but that's not what it's about. It's about coming away with the victory and donating $20,000 in your name to the V Foundation. As we jump over now to, I believe that is going to be Mendo on the right side of your screen. Mendo, you can catch him on Twitch, streaming pretty much every day, and this guy pulls off incredible feats in this game on a regular basis. It's almost ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, very, very skilled player, professional, Overwatch player at some point in his career as well. Absolutely knows how to shoot.
And there's Xavier Woods alongside his teammate, Elamite Warrior, and Jessica Chobot, while Mendo continues to pick up some kills, or some downs, I should say, on his side. there's a reason to celebrate because it's all for a good cause at the end of the day. And look at the shot here from Mendo on to Dylan Francis. That's going to be Team Jericho, but the challenge is going to come in. He manages to use the grapple hook to get around, but no, it's going to be Stephen Weatherly who picks up the kill on Mendo. Then the backup there from Stephen. Huge plays, and Mendo is going to be out of the competition, and he's wondering where did it all go wrong.
Yeah, you can see there's a bit of salt there, and I think understandably so.
High
it looked like he had that initiation. You saw the bobbing and weaving with the crouching, using that low ground with the Spitfire to ensure a positive trade on his behalf, but one push from Steven with that Peacekeeper, it was just too much to be able to handle. Mendo is now no longer with us, but we still have 10 teams with an opportunity at that $20,000 check going to the BFAM
And one of those players still in this game is going to be NRG's Dizzy, who has his teammates Sydney and Jimmy Uso still in this one. Players down low. That was Kenneth Fareed alongside with Maria Taylor. Oh, the humanity, and they managed to just pick up more kills here. That's going to be 4 total for Dizzy at this point in time.
Yeah, you can see how effective at tracking down players Dizzy is. Every single moment that there seems to be an ounce of weakness on the outskirts of this map, it almost feels as if he is Bloodhound-esque, and he always knows where they are. Zipline comes out to get him a high ground here, headed over to the relay, which you can see off of those zip lines. Not all of those zip lines are in the game itself. It's important to note here, Golden Boy. Yeah. Half of those were set down by real players, which means we know there is a lot of action at relay, and that is where the last zone is. And relay is split by 2 major drop-off zones that you can just fall off the map.
And another thing to note here, 10 squads remaining, as you had mentioned earlier, and that we saw Ken Fareed and Maria Taylor get picked off, but Stone Mountain is still in this game. And then you have Dropped, who is in a world of hurt here, needs to take a break. And then Jawan's now out of the game too. Look, teammate can't be respawned. He's going to be running solo.
Look at this circle. This is so wild of a circle. So not only is it divided, all that blue on that minimap is dead zone. You are dead if you go anywhere near that and fall down to that area. But then more importantly, the high ground area that's being selected, there's only one building in, and it is so hard to get to. It's off to your left-hand side.
Oh, man, and Drop's going to have to get on out of there because he was taking some shots after healing up. Getting his shields back into this.
He has to get that high ground. That is the biggest thing that I'm trying to highlight. Off to, but right to his side, there is a high ground rock.
And he can get there because he's Pathfinder.
Whoever owns it will walk away most likely a victor here because that zone is just so tiny and so niche.
I think that they're going to be players that are already up there because I saw shots being exchanged up above. And Drop needs to be careful because he's completely surrounded. Then moving on to King Richard. And it seems like it is going to be King Richard who has the high ground.
Yeah, he knows that this zone is so easy to defend. He's got the longbow, rips a nice 175 into that one, 2-shot knock, and now holds his throne over what looks like could be his final game.
And Connor Ball just took out Dropped out on the field. So Connor Ball, bases for the Vamps, just took out professional player Dropped. If you're not impressed by Connor Ball, I honestly, I'm blown away. I'd be shocked. Get out of here. Get out, we don't want you.
But I'm still, talking about blown away. You're going to be blown away by King Richard. If he maintains this zone, he's got a Mastiff to back up. If you get up in his face, you have to climb up those ridges. You climb those ridges, you are going to get shot by the Mastiff and dead.
Has this combination? I don't know if they're still in this game, but look at Jericho. And there's the Mastiff, the connections. It's doing some pure damage there. But Jericho on the side, you see it. He's going to be out of the game. And King Richard needs to disengage from that fight. Brianna's going to go out of this one. It's going to be Connor Ball, no shields left, and King Richard gets out, just runs out of that fight. The passive comes in for Bangalore, allowing him to be able to get there quicker.
The zone's still closing in there. 2 seconds until it's going to be finished. Shots here from King Richard, unable to connect with any of them. Lands one.
Connor with that assistance. He needs to get there and help out King Richard. And the hunt continues as the Massive connects on to Sydney. That's going to be Team Jimmy Uso. And Dizzy, you see him flying up above. Surely, and it pushes it in. Oh, the Massive is going to be put to work here, and King Richard now is looking to end this one, looking to end the run for Dizzy.
Needs to get this shield battery off, though, to make sure he resets his shielding. Connor Ball is so very low. The Massive comes out with a 1-2, but actually King Richard got knocked. Dizzy holds his own in the skirmish, now buys the time to get the shield battery off. If he gets this, full shielding available. Dizzy is prepped and ready to defend off this relay circle.
Where is Connor Ball? He needs to come in and help, but the problem is he's going to be going up against 3 formidable players in this game. And I just don't know if they have it in them. Jimmy Uso's going to be down to low HP. Sydney, as well as Dizzy, brought back up with their shields. And the quick looting now from Dizzy. He's going to have that alternator with the wingman. The alternator with that new hop up. It just shreds the shields of any player. And then you're going to have the wingman. 3 squads are remaining. Connor Ball just got eliminated, and it comes down now to the final 3.
And they're sitting in the 2 buildings that have not only the high ground, the zone into their favor. Everything is looking good. Also, within that minor loot session, Dizzy able to find himself a skull piercer there for the wingman. Make sure to get near double the damage on his headshots, which he is so very effective with. At this point, it is going to take everybody to take them on. We have no more time remaining. Round 6, our circle is closing. Our final match is about to come to a close.
It all comes down to this here, folks. The top 3 remaining. We don't know how many players are left, but now it's going to be Chris Thompson who gets picked off. Not before, though. He managed to down. Huskers takes out Jimmy Uso.
Dizzy?
But then Dizzy pushes in there, and he does manage to take out Tom Shar. Looking for another one, and that is going to be Huskers. You're out of here. One more team remaining, and it seems like they might be inside of this building. On the hunt we go. Does Dizzy win the game? Does Dizzy do what Dizzy does best and pick up championships, pick up victories as he's on the hunt, looking around. This Wraith trying to shuffle about, stay in this game, but is it going to be enough? It seems like Dizzy's playing with his food, and that's going to do it. Team Jimmy Uso not only win game 1, but they win the $20,000 game and will donate in their name to the V Foundation. Congratulations.
We started today highlighting how this team, it would be a miss if we did not highlight how good of a player Dizzy is and what we can expect from him today. But we didn't know, with all of them on the same server, what did that look like? Does Dizzy perform at the same level? And the answer is yes. The guy always steps up when he's on King's Canyon.
And of course, a huge congratulations to his teammates, Jimmy Uso as the team captain, and Sydney Goodman from IGN. What a win. They said it. They just do what Dizzy tells them to do. It seems to have worked out for them quite nicely.
And I think that's the biggest thing to highlight with this roster, right? Though we talk a lot about Dizzy and his impact on the game itself, it's not like this squad has not been willing to, number one, address how good he is at the game and be like, how can we enable you? But also, just willing to give that credit out. Jimmy Uso going, it's Team Dizzy. It's a full team effort here today.
That was awesome stuff there. Team Jimmy Uso are going to be your champions here at the EXP Apex Legends Pro-Am, and they will be donating $20,000 in their name to the V Foundation. What an incredible game that was, right at the final moments there. It's some great gameplay.
Yeah.
And what was also really cool, too, was that we had a lot of teams left in that game.
Oh, yeah.
I think when we were already into like circle 3 or circle 3 or 4.
Yeah, absolutely. You're completely correct. And I think the coolest thing for me was, I was talking about that high ground, right? And immediately when we get to King Richard, we see he's defending the high ground. He's got the section. Yeah. And Dizzy maneuvered through that area to be able to overtake his own teammates.
So cool, so awesome to see. But we have Victoria. It's going to be inside of the arena for our trophy presentation.
We've got the champions here, but not only do you guys get an epic trophy coming up, you have $20,000 to the V Foundation and your team's name. Now I got to ask you, what does this win mean to you?
The MVP, you got to take this one, Dizzy.
It means a lot because it's all for a good cause in the end, for charity and stuff like that. And to get a bunch of pro players and athletes and stuff like that to come out here and to compete for fun, and it was really good.
And talk to me about that comeback to get that W.
Once again, you got to talk to him.
Basically, we were in like a bad position where we needed to rotate through a bunch of different teams to get into the last zone to get into the ring, and we ended up sticking together, and no one really aggroed us and fought us, and we ended up winning.
All right, and you won this epic trophy. Can we just read this in here? It's pretty spectacular. This is the champion trophy. But there's another trophy for you, Dizzy. You are the MVP of this match. Not only do you get this trophy, but there's also an additional $1,000 in your name to the V Foundation. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
the champs.
And there you have it, your champions, Team Jimmy Uso, Sydney Goodman, alongside NRG's Dizzy, pick up the big victory. The MVP as well goes to Dizzy. Purdue, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Not only was he the leader in the field, but he also just slayed out beautifully, Dreadnought.
Yeah, he had a lot of clutch moments, especially in that very last game. That I wish I could talk about that end circle for like 5 minutes over some of the smart things that Dizzy specifically did to set his team ahead. But of course, you know, I feel like we heard it there from the squad. From beginning to end, there was so much on his shoulders. And to be able to clutch it out when I think a lot of people expected Dizzy coming in today. But to show he can rise to the occasion, I think says almost more about the guy than getting the W today.
So cool, so cool. And of course, huge shout out to all of our competitors who participated. And here are the final results of match number 3. And at first place, as we had mentioned, your champions, Team Jimmy Uso. Sweet Dreams was that player at the end. Huskers as well. Then you have King Richard in 4th, and then Team Vis in 5th. And then the list goes down from there. Jericho, Team Jericho, we're looking pretty solid in the mid-game there. And then we had covered it, poor Team Jey Uso. But the good news for Jey Uso is that he gets to live vicariously through his twin brother.
He does. In fact, just residing at the top there, and we talked about it a little bit. Struggling in game 1, coming back in game number 2. DrDisrespect residing at 15th place when it came down to the important match.
That was awesome. I had an absolute blast covering this, and there you see some of our competitors. But that's it. That's $25,000 that's been donated for the V Foundation tonight. Over $100 million, over 100 million has been donated by ESPN and raised overall. And we'd love for you to join us. Please head on over to v.org/Apex Legends and join us in the fight against